Hey guys, Rorius here. Welcome back to Not for Broadcast. I've discovered that we're up to the very last broadcast, last regular broadcast for the second episode. So this is the last section of the game that's like canon, I guess. The reason I'm saying it like this is that there's another special broadcast, a bit like the Dream one, where we were being attacked by Mrs. Snugglehogs. Yeah, this is the last, one that affects the story. A tape to remember. If you don't remember last time, I let Jeremy Donaldson shoot himself on live TV. You wake up still partly in shock from what you saw on the news last night. What you had to edit on the news last night. When you come downstairs, you find your family sat in the living room waiting for you. You take a seat on the sofa next to Sam. Sam swallows, hesitating before starting. We were so worried about you last night after Jeremy with the gun. Sam chokes down a sob. It was awful. On national television. How could he do that? And now? After a horrible pause, Sam finally asks, Are you okay, honey? I can't believe he's gone. Sam glances at Charlie, then back at you. We saw that you chose to play that tape. They pause before continuing, and I couldn't help but wonder why. I didn't feel like I had a choice, or it seemed like the right thing to do. I didn't feel like I had a choice. What? That's not good enough. Disrupt bad people. I can't believe you did that. Charlie's outburst. Oh, that's Charlie. I'm gonna leave it. Charlie's outburst seems to come out of nowhere, and no one in the room is prepared for it. Do you even think about how this stuff affects people? You're a fucking idiot. Sam tries to interject Charlie, but he already slammed the door. Charlie always was a bit black and white about this sort of thing. For what it's worth, Alex, I think you were in an impossible situation, and somehow you managed to make it the right call. Sam throws their arms around you. Ah, only you were stuck in that studio having to make that choice. No one can criticize what you did, and I'm proud of you. You've never been so grateful to have Sam support you. Aww. You take a deep breath and gather your thoughts. It's all a lot to take in. You're not sure you've fully processed what happened last night, let alone what Charlie and Sam think about it all. You sigh and absent-mindedly turn on the TV. It's nice you've at least got some company. The TV is playing through some old Western show, but it's not quite as distracting as you'd hoped. You were never going to please everyone. Yeah. Oh, this is a lot of days later. A burden born. It's been 6 months since you and Sam last discussed Grandma's ever-increasing medical costs, and Emma, whilst very pleasant, has proved as expensive a nurse as you'd feared. You can't quite believe it's been that long already. But the sanctions are really starting to hit home now, and unfortunately the government's only solution to help the ailing elderly is a day trip to a transition center. As in, to die. Why does everything always seem to come back to money? This time it's you at the kitchen table, surrounded by bills and paperwork, when Sam comes to join you. Today, Emma told you that there was really nothing more you could do, except an expensive experimental new treatment that might not even help. Sometimes your mum wants the treatment. More often, she talks about visiting a transition center. It's hard to know what she really wants. Sam puts a hand on yours. What are we gonna do, honey? She's your mother. It has to be your choice. I still have a fair bit of money, but that might mean that I'm, bankrupt. I don't know. If it was my mother, I would do whatever I could. It's a difficult choice. You never know when you might need that money, particularly for the kids. What if Charlie gets in an accident? What if something happens to Susie while she's abroad and she needs help? Or what if you could give them a few more good years with their grandmother? Surely that's worth the cost. Yeah, how much is that gonna put me down? Manageable debt. Oh no. Pretty sure that's lower than when we started. A holiday update. Just as you're finishing up breakfast, Sam comes in with the post. Oh, we got a postcard from Susie. I hope she's having fun on her trip. Sam reads it aloud as you finish getting ready for work. So I've seen what feels like most of Urkistan. Really cool place, but so cold. Hope Chippy enjoyed the gift. And before you say anything, yes, you were right to make me pack the extra pair of socks. Sam gives you a small kick under the table. I see. San Palmerino. Next we got the train to Konislava, much warmer and loads of beaches to enjoy. I could have stayed there forever, but had to head to San Palmerino before it got too cold. And I'm so glad we did. We'll probably got one or two more stops before heading home, but I'll be back in time for Christmas, I promise. Hope everyone's doing well. Love, Susie. Sounds like it's been a hell of a trip, worth every penny. Yeah. Here it is. Is finally the next broadcast. The final broadcast. For this episode. That's the thing, is like, there's gonna be I've already seen them, like, they're already working on episode 3. And I can't wait to see what happens in episode 3 as well, but I've got to finish episode 2 first. The 20-week war.
Alex, Bozeman, your boss. We're expecting deplorables from Disrupt to hack the signal tonight. Perhaps you could leave your personal beliefs at home and try not to let them ruin the broadcast. Even if you don't care for the government, I assume you understand you have a vested interest in us staying on the air. Stay out of the orange.
Alright.
So, Julia's team have asked me to ask you to keep it light.
What does that mean?
It means do that thing you do where you turn politicians into humans. Just don't get drawn into talking about the war, politics in general, really.
They do know this is the news, don't they?
You didn't hear this from me, but
This has changed. There's no longer a censor. It's a
apparently
no
we're
speech.
at Team HQ right now. I think she's giving a speech or something tonight. They'll get it on the late news.
What is
Great,
this?
so they get the brains and we get the performing monkey.
At least I don't have to do this anymore.
Like him, you know?
How are you?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. I miss him too, you know.
10 seconds, everybody.
Rumpelbelt sad.
Going in 5, 4,
Okay.
3.
Get back into the mood of it.
Good evening. This is the National Nightly News. I'm Megan Wolfe. It's the 140th day of war. Our main headlines tonight. Company of Heroes. Skirmishes on land and sea again today as our armed forces tested the mettle of the World Council's illegal blockade. Advance's strategy of multiple small-scale incursions into the disputed zone is certainly keeping the enemy on high alert.
Suppose I should
Unable
be.
to work out where or when the next strike will come.
Should be good.
Proud parents throughout the territory find themselves ever more impressed by the bravery and commitment of their incredible children.
I feel dirty every
and the
time I
job they're
do.
doing, keeping supply lines open
time I do this
against
kind of
all
thing.
possible odds. Don't starve. Advance's food program moved from strength to strength today as rationing depots were opened in the last remaining unfed areas of the territory. The rationing depots have been constructed in record time, and the government's agricultural coordination strategy has seen shelves restocked with increasing regularity. And judging by the looks on this happy family's faces, it can't come a moment too soon.
Dear.
They'll be getting a good meal tonight on the government, just like the rest of us. 7 days to die. The recent decision to allow those with long-term health conditions to access transition centres has today been declared an overwhelming success. Previously available only to those in their final years, the expansion of the service has been met with relief by the many organisations calling for it to be opened up to the wider community.
I see.
The transition centres
no.
have reported larger than expected numbers, but report that they are coping well and able to provide a complete and meaningful service to all who choose to use it. Populace.
That's
More
a
than 11%
scary
of the
image.
population have thus far failed to register for a team membership card. A worrying statistic given that the cards are a legal requirement from midnight tonight. It's up to the other 89% of us to remind our tardy friends that not taking advantage of all the exclusive services available to cardholders is now, as it should be, absolutely criminal. Start me up. Disrupt spokesman Alan James held an impromptu rally today in the northern city of Mankipool. Large crowds gathered to hear the band speaker prove Disrupt are
I'm
still
gonna
able
go
to
with this
capture
one.
the public's imagination. A representative from the Mankley Community Cohesion Team described the event as mostly peaceful. But it looks like Disrupt aren't going quietly into the night. And finally, absent friends. Sad news today as the grave of former National Nightly News host Jeremy Donaldson is vandalised by radical Disrupt activists. The much-loved broadcaster suffered a very tragic public breakdown 10 weeks ago in an incident which ultimately cost him his life. Disrupt spokesman Alan James, whose organisation last week named Mr Donaldson as the cause's first martyr, described the graffiti as a fitting tribute to a hero of the resistance.
Right.
But first tonight, with the war about to enter its 21st week, I'll be chatting with Peter Clement live in an exclusive team talk from his home in Lanfordshire. Don't go away. You won't want to miss a second of tonight's National Nightly News.
Okay. The usual disruption during the video feeds. This is kind of scary, like it's such a different... The mood is so different now.
Later in the programme, I'm thrilled to say I'll be chatting with mega pop star Lil C, who's going to be treating us to a world premiere of her new single. And then after that, in part 3, we've got something new I promise you won't want to miss. But first tonight, let's check in with Prime Minister Peter Clement, who's coming to us through the magic of television all the way from his home in Lanfordshire. Are you receiving me, Prime Minister?
Loud and clear, Miss Wolf. Loud and clear.
Well, let's start with the obvious. What's that in your hand, Prime Minister?
Cheeky cow. But yeah, it's true. 75
What is
days
this?
without an alcoholic drink, and I've got to say, I'm beginning to feel the benefits.
It certainly
Oh.
Well, I made a promise to Mrs.
Wait,
C,
wait, wait.
as the old man used to say,
a promise is worth keeping.
but something like that, only with assholes.
So, I've heard from my sources that you and the illustrious Mrs. C plan to
Wait
take
a
your
second.
winter break somewhere a little different this year.
That's right. We're planning a walking holiday right here in the territory.
Some of that disrupt propaganda out. Try not to do
Like
that,
you,
Alex.
Megan,
We're
I've
watching
always
you.
been a big fan of those warm foreign beaches.
Did you make this decision because of the blockade, Prime Minister?
Wait a second, wait a
Well,
second.
that's a good question. Well, as you know, while the blockade has
Am I gonna be fired?
restricted the flow of goods into the country, we and our neighbours have continued to allow unimpeded travel for business leaders, ministers and such. So, although me and the missus could theoretically go to that gorgeous beach I just mentioned, it just doesn't smell much like team spirit.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
After all, as my old man used to say, when life gives you shite, make shite pie.
It works just as well with lemons and lemonade.
I suppose it does.
I suppose I
Prime
should...
Minister, maintaining a healthy body like yours at a time of national crisis must
I'll stick to
require
the
some
news this
demanding
time.
Planning. What's your regime and how do you go about it all?
Well, the truth be told, it's all down to Claude, my infinitely patient personal trainer. He's a man with a plan. I'm just the prat with a fat.
Wow, on that very subject, how are you and Mrs. C handling living on rations?
Well, let me tell you, Megan, back in the
this is
50s,
hard.
when I worked for you backstage for your Patrick Brannan's dad, did you know I did that?
I think everyone knows that, Prime Minister.
Well, what you probably didn't know was that Graham Bannon was a right tightwad, paid the bare bloody
didn't cut
minimum and
quickly
still
enough.
found every possible excuse he could to dock your pay even further. I remember he once docked me a whole $5 for having an unacceptably smelly lunchbox type bastard. Anyway, what I'm saying is back then I ate a lot less than I am now, even under rationing. We all did. And let's face it, there are still plenty of people in this country who could afford to lose a little bit of weight.
What are you implying? No, but seriously, Prime Minister, we know you're very busy, but one final question, if I may.
Oh, well, go on then.
When you get home from a long day, your head full of the territory's hopes and fears, what music do you listen to when you work out to take your mind off things?
Well, I know I've got a bit of a reputation for being an old fuddy-duddy, but I'd be lying if I didn't say there's something about Little C that just demands one's attention.
Well, let's hope you stay watching, Prime Minister, because she is going to be talking and performing live after the break.
Oh, I'll be watching. After all, as my old man used to say, everything's a treat on a boring Friday with nothing but the wind up your shunt.
It's Wednesday, Prime Minister.
I think the expression still stands.
Peter Clement, thank you for joining me. I don't know about you at home, but I think there's something kind of inspirational there. I know I feel safer. When we come back, Lil C is going to be giving us the debut performance of her new single, and I'll be getting to meet her. As her biggest fan, I don't mind telling you I'm pretty excited. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.
Oh, okay.
Gripping stuff.
Was that even news?
I think you forgot to ask him what his favourite number is.
Oh, I must have forgotten.
I forgot to let the whole first section
So
be
assuming it's not vodka, do you think
disrupt
that's actually
messages.
I reckon it's the tears of his enemies.
You are one disturbed individual.
How I cope.
A+, yay! Hell yeah. I always play this company's ad because my house is, I get bonuses every time I play their ads. Basically.
You have spotted the updated mixing desk.
Yes.
Need the new buttons during the next sections. First, we'll need applause when the guest enters and before her song.
Oh my god.
I'll walk you through it when we get there.
Uh-oh. That's totally gonna be a thing. Like, you're gonna have to be like, do you boo in this, like, this very specific scenario? Do you applaud something that's potentially dangerous? Shocked and laughing as well, on top of that.
I've never heard of her before.
Oh, she's big, really big.
Really? Is she any good?
Nah, of course not. She's dog shit. My kids go mad for her, absolutely mad.
Hang on, Colin, you've got kids.
Yeah, I've got about 6 or 7, I think.
What the frick?
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for coming back. Later, we have an exciting new feature that we just know you're going to love, so stay tuned for that. But first, I'm really excited for our next guest. She rose to prominence as the delightful Susie May in All My Daughter's Children's Men, before taking the music industry by storm this year with her debut album smashing the chart records at the age of just 20. Let's give it up and welcome Lil C!
The staff, excellent work.
May I just say, you look incredible.
Oh, thanks, babe. I'm doing this new regime
Okay, so
and
it's like
it
a-
really does work.
What's the regime?
And my manager suggested
I get it, I get how this
basically
works.
involves bathing in like cabbage water and then having the leaves sucked out of you while you sleep.
Wow, is that healthy?
Well, look at me, Meg. The leaves are my only nourishment.
Yep, they certainly are. Now, you'll have to forgive me, but I'm somewhat of a super fan, so I'm sorry if I get a bit starstruck.
Oh, bless you. I've never actually heard of you before, so if you do get a little tongue-tied, I can always carry the interview.
Oh, that's good to know. So your first
She's like-
album, F My Face Together, it hit shelves this summer and it just exploded. I mean, what was that like for you?
Bonkers, just so weird. I was in all the papers and the magazines. Overnight, I went from that like annoying little girl from that show to that like sexy little girl from that show.
Wow, that must have been bizarre.
Not really, it was just like any other morning. You know, get up at 5, go on a 4-mile run, have 3 meetings on my cabbage bath, but then only then was my dad actually talking to me.
Oh, of course. I mean, the famed country singer, Billy Bob Jean Short. I didn't know you'd been estranged.
There's nothing that strange about it, Megan. Okay, yes, he may believe that aliens told him to hate women, but there really isn't anything to prove that he's wrong.
So, this newfound explosion into your popularity, I mean, did that change your life?
Well, I had to start wearing like nice underwear, you know, for the paparazzi, but as my manager says, best to make the most of it before I'm 30.
Is that right? So, what's the album about?
So I thought it was about like how pretty and great I am, but actually it's about monetizing youth, I think, or about like promoting an unrealistic standard of beauty or something.
Your manager again.
Yeah, he says insecurity is an opportunity.
Oh, do you think he'd be happy with you telling us all this?
Telling you all what? It really doesn't matter what I say here. I'll do my dancing and then this part will all be forgotten about.
Well, yeah, I mean, we're going to see some of those famous dance moves very shortly because you're going to be performing your new single, aren't you?
Yeah, it's from my album Put It In My A Together and it's out tomorrow.
So soon, after the last one.
Oh yeah, I've actually released 2 albums since lunchtime and a clothing line during this interview.
Just like, fuck it.
See, this is called Cry for Help and it's going to be in all the best high street and retailer shops and it's out now. So girlies, you know what to do. Scream and cry until somebody gets it for you.
Yeah. Disrupt's message is more important than this. It's fucking...
All these projects, they're keeping you very busy.
Hashtag not my clothes achievement.
Yeah, it can get tough and I hate it sometimes and I hate myself. I just want to like cry into a bath of root veg. But then I think thousands of girls would do anything to me, so I must be quite lucky.
Well, you know you don't have to do this, though, don't you?
Yeah, I do think that sometimes. Most nights, between like my 4th vodka and the 8th time a stranger slaps me around the arse, I think things could have been different, you know, like better. But I don't know. I love doing autographs and having somebody dress me and tell me what to wear.
Did you always want to do music?
Well, ever since I was a little girl, I did. I'd sit in front of the radio, and as soon as my favourite girl group would come on, I'd press record on my cassette. But then my dad would come in and tell me to turn it off and to go back upstairs and start practicing again.
Sorry, is your dad your manager?
Yeah, which can be tough. And sometimes when it gets really hard, he'll say, "Make Quagler proud, and you might just survive childbirth."
Well, you know what? Despite anything, you'll make me proud.
Oh, if only your opinion was as valuable as his.
And on that problematic note, you're
Jesus
singing your song for us soon, aren't you? Tell me about it.
So it's called These Babies Gonna Bring You Home, and I actually got sent the lyrics in the car on the way up here. But you know what? It's actually all right. And don't worry, all my work is team approved.
All right then. Well, you can go and get ready for that. We'll see you in a little bit. It was a very specific type of pleasure to chat to her, and I just can't wait to hear this. Oh, so here's Lil C with an exclusive first performance of her new track, These Babies Gonna Bring You Home.
Yeah, so you select something.
Take it away.
It's the Force's favorite, the queen of team, here to break in your blockades, Lil C.
Okay.
Oh baby, can't you see I'm hungry?
This is
There's a place in me that's empty. I want that meat you're packing. Only you can fill that crack.
I was gonna say, this is just Britney Spears.
Sea, so come and free me. Ain't no disruption here, boy. I got no agenda. Just want the team and read. No dirty foreign member. Don't stop no morning till there's holes in me that ain't been filled yet. I only scream this loud when you do your country proud. I ain't no Vickers daughter. Come and skirmish on my border. Quick before I get much older. Tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So let them try and break our dream.
Cut to the randomly.
So what a Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy. I wanna see some action. So come and break my sanctions.
Oh. Okay, so there's sections where it's like they don't want you to cut even if you're on the beat. I realize that now after all this time.
I've been this wild and free since Mama burdened me. She was only 53, but gave to save her family.
Yeah, so now there's also, it's weird.
If I'm the one that's in your fantasy. Don't die alone, these babies gonna bring you home.
It's just like they're trying to not allow me to abuse the cut system.
Quick before I get much older, tie me down and pull me like an enemy soldier. An enemy soldier. So what if Peter Clemens boys can come and use me as a toy and flip me over, grab my hair, rip off my clothes and dump them there. I wanna see some action. So come and break
Dang
my
it.
sanctions.
I'm not doing nearly as well with this song as I have with previous ones. Oh my god. I can't get it to go higher than like 4 times. Forget it.
Well, if that doesn't distract you from the world outside, I don't know what will.
Oh, I'm still like right at the top.
Seafoam.
So it's all good.
Well, for doing that, don't go anywhere. After the break, we'll finally be revealing the new segment of our show that we just know you're going to love. We'll be back right after this.
And we're out.
All right. I'm trying to stay balanced. Like some disrupt, some advance.
Thank you so much for letting me do this. It really means a lot to me, you know.
Yeah.
To be able to promote myself on such a mainstream platform like the news.
Well, don't worry about it. And you know what? Good luck for the future. Take care of yourself. This industry can be crazy sometimes. Watch out for that father of yours, won't you?
Oh, no. I manage myself. It's just, you know, for the public to have that certain perspective on me. You know what it's like.
Oh, right.
And Michael?
Michael? What about Billy Bob Jean Short? Is he?
Oh, my dad. He's such a sweetheart. We both had the same agents, you know, like it just made sense. Both of us for our image together.
Wow.
And Michael, I want to see the revenue share for the clothing line and get me a GMC
just
before
like,
my
what?
meeting with the lube guys. If they say for your pleasure, I'm gonna start needing it.
Oh, A+, yay! Hell yeah.
Well, the fact is, Jen, there weren't enough flowers in my dressing room.
There were exactly 12, as it said in your rider.
Do I look like the sort of person who counts things? No,
He's a maths teacher.
Not anymore. I'm better than that now. I'll tell you what. Just keep adding flowers.
So yeah, this lights up and you have like a time limit. Just like with the 3 and 4 over here.
Right away. 10 seconds.
I'll have a time limit to like select a thing.
5, 4, 3.
Thanks for joining us for part 3. We've been teasing you about our new feature all night, and now the wait is finally over. I can reveal that every night on the show, we'll be treated to an episode of an informative and hilarious new segment called The Notice Board. It stars some top talent, and we're very excited about it. But before we see it, let's have a quick chat with the writer, director, and phenomenon, may I say, Jeff Algebra, guys.
Actually, I've dropped the algebra. I go by Jeff DePoon now. How'd you like that?
Oh, yeah, very fancy. I suppose you need a new name now that you're a successful artiste.
Well, exactly. I'm earning enough to pay taxes now.
Oh.
He wasn't before.
And how does Angela feel about all this? Your wife. Your wife.
Oh, God, no. No, she's long gone. No, she was holding me back. I'm with Norm now. We were married last month.
Norm de Plume.
Yeah.
And why did you?
I like that he had no fucking idea what she was on about.
I received a telephone call offering me 25 grand to write a pro-team sitcom, and I heard my father's voice. It said, Jeff, you listen here, boy. You make hay while the sun shines. You wring every penny you can get out of this. So I wheeled him down to the transition centre, got out my typewriter and started clacking. Utter shite.
And without further ado, let's give it up for the notice board.
I wasn't expecting that.
Excellent, you're a natural. Keep it up.
Good morning, Miss Craven.
Oh, morning, Ray.
Everything all right, Mrs. Craven? You look as worried as the vicar in closing time.
Oh, Ray, it's those young louts.
They've vandalized my shop again.
No!
Yes! They've written all sorts of obscene language and crude pictures, and I know it's those damn youths.
I don't know. It could be the vicar at closing time.
Oh, I see. I'm doing some of these wrong.
I'm just worried they won't ever
It tells you what the right one was.
members of the community. What if they never see the error of their ways and end up as social outcasts, such as shoplifters or bong rats?
Don't worry, Mrs. Craven. This is a very supportive community, and I'm sure that in time they will fit into this society like this key into this lock.
Oh, that wasn't the right one. I was supposed to do the applaud one. That one was the laugh one.
See? Works like a charm.
What a lovely way to put it, Ray. And just like that, we can unlock their future.
Oh.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Wow! Look at all the letters in my collection today.
Oh, I think that one's addressed to me.
What?
Just choose them randomly now.
Oh, so you're right. Here it is.
It's a letter from my granddaughter, Brenda. She says she got an A on her maths exam because one of her friends has been helping her. She was always a team player, was our Brenda.
What's up, losers? What's up, losers?
Oh. I did the laugh one.
No! It's Brad! He's the coolest guy in the village.
That's right. I just got here on my motorbike.
Oh, clear off, Brad. We don't want any of your ilk around here.
What? Brad dudes?
No, ruffians. Have you come to tag the notice board with your gang signs?
No way. I've actually come to pin my resume on that notice board. I'm looking to do some tutoring after school.
What did you say? Tutoring?
That's right. Maths is very important. Would you mind, Ray?
Not at all.
So you, a young person, have been spending your time helping others and not just urinating on churches or huffing glue?
Hey, I haven't huffed glue for months.
Well, blow me down!
You know what? We misjudged you based on how young and cool you are and not on your actions.
No doy.
So it wasn't you who vandalized my shop last night or called me a rancid old crone from the back of a chopper?
No way. It can't have been me. I was too busy helping my friend Brenda with her maths homework.
Could you speak up there? I thought for a minute there that you said Brenda.
I did, you daft old sow.
Did you hear that, Ray?
Oh, yes, what a wonderful surprise. I now respect you as a man.
Put her there, Ray. Oh, what the heck? Give us a hug.
Are there an earthquake or are there tanks rolling down the friggin' street? Or is there a bomb going off? Must be an earthquake.
Sorry to interrupt the first groundbreaking episode of the notice board, but we are receiving some breaking news. I'm being told we are picking up reports from across the continent of what appear to be. God.
Have we been bombed?
What appear to be nuclear explosions in 4 major foreign cities. Initial estimates put the death toll into. They put them into millions. I'm being told we're experiencing some power shortages as a result, so apologies for the interruption. And apparently we can go live now to team headquarters for an emergency broadcast from Prime Minister Julia Salisbury any moment. Yes, let's go to that now. Yes, let's go to that now.
Good evening, citizens and leaders of the world. Minutes ago, operatives working for Advance detonated nuclear explosives simultaneously in 4 major cities across the continent. We have similar devices in 58 other urban centres.
What the fuck?
To detonate them if our conditions are not met
No.
in full and without delay. The people of our territory will no longer tolerate your illegal and genocidal blockade. You are to remove it immediately. We will accept nothing less than your unconditional surrender. Your territories will be taken under our control. We will install replacement governments to ensure that your citizens become part of the new future. Your borders are now our borders. Your people are our people. They will finally be fed and clothed and educated and healed. But for your privileged few, the moment that they feared is now upon them. Allow me to be crystal clear. If you fire a single shot at our territory or harm a single one of our citizens, we will not hesitate to detonate further devices. You will not find them, though no doubt you are already searching for them. Our technology is decades ahead of yours. We will expect your complete acceptance of our terms by midnight tonight. Thank you. Thank you.
I don't really talk about my personal life in my job. It's not relevant or important. So many of you may be surprised to learn that I have a brother. His name is David. And right now
As in the David who used to work here?
I can't get his stupid face out of my head. He's a researcher and he's currently travelling the continent for work.
Okay.
And I don't.
Oh, I don't know, maybe.
I don't know where he is right now. And I should imagine that there are many of you sitting at home tonight digesting this news, and you also have loved ones on the continent. In Urkistan, or Havia, or San Palmerino, or Konislava, which is where David was when I last spoke to him 3 days ago. So when I tell you I know how you are feeling tonight, believe me, I do. But I also know that there's a flow to events. I see it every day here. I know that although tonight it feels like we may be in a time of fear and darkness, we may actually be at the break of a new dawn. We don't know that yet. We can't know that yet, but together we will find out. And I will be here every night, feeling what you are feeling. And with your help, maybe we can all get to that brave new world. My name's Megan Wolfe. Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
Oh no!
The telephone networks are overloaded. We'll find him.
Do we know exactly which cities were hit or?
Megan.
Yeah.
We will find him.
I was gonna say my daughter is overseas.
Time's undone. We stay
Jesus Christ. Yeah, our daughter is. She mentioned San Palmerino, which is exactly where our daughter is, but we don't. It didn't say what actual places were hit. And I'm assuming, like, would they use the same name for multiple characters? I'm guessing. I'm assuming that the David was the guy whose job we took over, right? Am I mistaken? So I'm terrible with names, so I often forget people's names unless I come across them a lot. He's hey, it's Dave. You know, he always said that at the start of his things. And so that if that's her brother, that's firstly that's interesting, that's fascinating, but secondly, yeah, that's fucked. And I don't know if I chose the right thing to. I started sending the disrupts broadcast thing through the message, but it kind of hid the part that said like, you must meet our demands immediately, sort of thing. I was glad that she returned to it though. In the second section when I focused on the Prime Minister, she said something like, we'll detonate more if our demands are not met.
This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex.
Oh my god.
We're so proud to be here today on this, the 500-day anniversary of the...
It's time to choose. Alex, whose side are you on?
Bozeman kept saying I should go advance, but the final chapters. Yeah, I wondered if the third section of the game was going to be the last.
You deserve a good, nutritious meal in these difficult times.
Yeah.
But before we go, one final thought.
Best is yet to come.
Jeremy?
Wait. What? They're gonna imply that Jeremy's gonna return.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Den. Jay, we said Zoom backgrounds.
Oh, sorry, boys.
We're the developers of Not for Broadcast.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for supporting our little game so far.
We're now 2/3 of the way through the story.
But as we film this in January 2021, the UK is back in lockdown.
We don't know when we'll next be able to film with
Right,
the full cast.
yeah.
So once again, we have to ask you to please be patient with us.
And if you want to talk to us in the meantime,
come chat with us on Discord at discord.gg/notforbroadcast.
We stream on Twitch every first and third Thursday of the month at twitch.tv/NotGamesUK. We always check the Steam forums for any suggestions or problems you may have.
And we read every Steam review, even the horrible ones, because your opinion matters to us.
So all that remains to say is thank you so much for playing our weird little game.
And
see you in episode 3.
Yeah, I can't wait.
If I have
It's gonna.
by then, I will let you know. Last time it didn't go so well.
It's going to kill me.
Good evening.
Oh.
I'm Megan Wolf. And I'm Jeremy.
End of level report. Sure, yeah. Oh yeah, I got another A+. That's why I got an achievement for like having multiple A+ broadcasts. Oh, some rude words for broadcast. More interference than news. An exceedingly poor edit. disrupt ruined the broadcast. Oh, but I've received a generous bonus. Broadcast poor. To can afford coffee. Ooh, yeah, because I keep playing this ad for this company. And yeah, both were seen favorably, and I apparently broke the heart of my relationship with the channel is not on the best terms. But yeah, like I was trying to stay maintained either way, but now it's gonna be the next chapter. It's gonna be full on, like, disrupt negative towards advance. Like I can't tolerate That is fucking horrifying. That's a horrifying concept. And I'm really curious as to how things would have been different if I had been more anti-government earlier on. Yeah. This is one of those games that you could definitely, like, the idea is that you can play through it many times and you get different outcomes every time, and you'll get to see things that are from a slightly different angle every time. So yeah. Episode 2 only just came out, so the last like 3 broadcasts we did. There's another one that I'm going to do in the next episode. There's like a bonus one. From the sound of it, there's no way to predict how long it's going to take for them to get the 3rd episode done. I'm gonna be sad not being able to play this and not to play it till the end, until the 3rd episode's released, but what are you gonna do? The world state as it is at the moment means that we just have to wait. We just have to wait until until the developers have the time and the ability to do it, because of lockdown and stuff. Until then, I guess. Well, there's gonna be one more episode we'll do for another bonus level. But until then, if you like what you saw, hit like. If you want to see more from me, then subscribe! Thank you so much for watching, and until the next episode of Not For Broadcast.